and thank you for tuning in. We continue to go through a world that is uncertain, and God has entrusted you and me with such a time as this that we would be faithful and we would behave as His children, a people who are no longer slaves but friends of God. And so I trust that God is just watching us at this point and trusting that we are going to behave right. Ideally, the crisis that we are walking through at this point, it may not be the one that is bringing in anxiety in our lives. The truth is that it is revealing the anxiety that our lives hold, because in reality, we are anxious people. And that's why Paul talks about anxiety. In Philippians chapter 4 verse 6, he starts actually by saying that be not anxious about anything, but in everything through prayer and petition with thanksgiving, make your requests known to God, and the peace of God that surpasses all understanding will guard your hearts and mind in Christ Jesus. Paul knew that we would come through such times as this, just as God did. And God would remind us that even at such times as this, it is important for us to take a pause around our lives and reflect. It is important for us to reflect on where we have put our security. Probably this time is revealing to us where our securities have been. Probably with the jobs that we have. And I know, looking globally, there are a lot of people who have lost jobs. And if their trust was in their jobs, then it is a difficult time for them. If their trust was put on salaries that they get at the end of the month, then they are going through a very hard time. We are, of course, walking through the reality of life, that all of us practically put trust in things that we're not ideally supposed to put our trust in. And God kept reminding the children of Israel, times you guys harvest, and then once you harvest, you hold on to your food and think that is going to be where your hope is going to come from. And it is important for us to get to these points where we start reflecting and asking ourselves, what is God saying? Is God revealing the sources of anxiety in my life as a lack of security? If I have put my security on the people that I know, on the ability to be able to get any kind of health care that I want, and probably at this point none of us is able to fly out of the world, of the country, and go to any other country in the world. We are stuck here, and all of us together, the rich and the poor, every person, and that's why I usually say that at the bottom of the cross, the ground is level. None of us can say that we are going through a better time than the other. And so there are hard economic times, there are hard psychological times that people are dealing with very difficult thoughts. And throughout processing, we're realizing that, where have I put my trust? And so just a good reminder, Proverbs chapter 3 verse 5 and 6 talks to us about put your trust in God. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge God, and He will make your paths straight. Ideally, our lives are, of course, to accomplish the purposes that God created us to. And so the truth is, we get into this world and we forget that this world was to prepare us for a world that is coming. And so we get very busy with the things that are happening around us and forget that the most and critical point of our lives is to connect with God. And this is a great time that we can put our minds and our hearts totally in the center of God's will. At this point, it's a great time that we can actually think about the love of God and how He loved us and how He chose to save us from this depraved world. When you're looking at what is happening, we cannot but forget but see sin, see the effects of sin. Our only hope, out of this world and the predicaments of this world is the love of Christ. And so Christ must take the prominence of every situation in our lives. When you look through all history, kingdoms have been there. The Syrian kingdom was there. The Babylonian kingdom was there. The Roman Empire came. And all these kingdoms thought that they were the superpowers. Today we still have people who call themselves superpowers, but the reality is that there have been kingdoms, but we belong to the kingdom with a definite article, the kingdom, which cannot be moved. And though kingdoms will come and empires will come and go, those superpowers will come and go, this same kingdom of the God who created us, the God who came to save us from our sinfulness, that kingdom will last forever. We must keep our focus on the King of that kingdom, because He is the one who has our future, because He knows our tomorrow. We have no idea of what is going to happen. And so, important, introspect. Ask yourself the question, who is the center of my life? I made the things of this world my security, because God is saying that they are no longer there. You have me, and I still love you. And God is calling us to that place of introspect. The second part is let us as well accept that the times that we are living in are hard times, and we are living in hard times. And the truth is, none of us knows what tomorrow holds. And so, what is the wise thing to do? Because accepting this reality is going to help us prepare for the times that come, whether good or bad. They are going to help us prepare. And so, let us accept that these times are hard. The economic difficulties that are going to come alongside. There are psychological difficulties that are going to come with this. There are things that we are going to be going through for the first time that we have ever gone through. And so prepare your children, prepare the people around you, prepare your spouse, prepare the people who you are going to be able to meet, so that at least when things come, they don't come to us as a surprise. Life is going to be uncertain, and so because we don't know what is going to happen when tomorrow comes. And so yes, the second bit is, ideally, let's accept the situation is hard. We are living in hard times. And the third part is, let's prepare. Therefore, let us prepare, including cutting and dealing with our budgets in ways that are going to be prominent, ways that are going to take care of us for quite some time. We may not know how long that this path is going to last, but we have both moral and divine prerogatives to be good stewards of what God gives us at such a time. God trusts and believes that whatever He gives us is going to be sufficient for us. And so God is going to take care of us. But we also remember that we are stewards of whatever God gives us. And so as He gives us, we are going to say no to some things. We are going to say no to some pleasures. We are going to say no to things that are not necessary, and just keep our minds on what is very necessary at such a time. May God bless you, and may you keep your trust in Him as we continue to walk through this path. It is going to be well. It is going to be well. It is going to be well. God bless you.